Now, as we await Japan's decision on whether to remove South Korea from its white list of 27 countries granted preferential trade status, expected to be made during its cabinet meeting in less than 2 hours from now, we'd like to seek perspective from an expert in Japan. Joining me live via Skype is Jonathan Miller, Senior Fellow at Japan Institute of International Affairs. Jonathan, welcome to the program.
Thanks very much for having me on.
Now, as an analyst living in Japan, studying Japan's foreign policy, do you expect the Abe government to greenlight Japan's removal of South Korea from its white list today?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I think most of the signs are pointing in this direction. So, as was earlier noted, they just had a foreign ministers meeting in Bangkok on the sidelines of the ASEAN regional forum meetings. And if that was any indication, that seemingly was the final kind of chance to have some sort of breakthrough resolution in this. But to back up a little bit even more, I think the Abe administration, when it made this decision just after the G20 and kind of went public with this decision, I think it was a difficult decision to make, and I think there was a lot of thought process put into that decision from Japan's perspective on national security grounds. So I think that to backtrack on this would be quite a political issue for the Abe cabinet. So I do think that this is going to go forward later today, unfortunately.
Now, Jonathan, how much public support and media spotlight is this issue garnering in Japan?
It is captivating the media a bit, and the newspapers and the television and the public perception. I think that there are some different takes on it. I think that there are many that are supportive of this decision. I think see it more broadly in the kind of perspective of the devolution away of relations between Japan and South Korea. But I think there are others that see this, especially in the business community, as potentially harmful and decoupling of the economy between Japan and South Korea. So there are some that have been urging some restraint, and I think that there are others that have been seeing this as just almost a culmination of some of the frustrations in the broader bilateral relationship.
Like you said, there are global concerns that if Japan were to push ahead with this move, it could initiate the economic decoupling of South Korea and Japan, which really has been the glue that's long secured political and security cooperation. How prominent or dominant are such concerns within Japan?
Yeah, I think they are. Frankly, they are, and even within the Abe cabinet. I mean, I think that this is the one kind of silver lining, and I think thing to look at in the coming months is that even though Abe is taking a very strong tack on this issue right now, he is generally and has shown that he is a pragmatist when at certain times. So there is a hope that looking at the broader economic relationship and the strategic relationship between Japan and South Korea, whether that be on North Korea issues or eventually in the long term, even looking at China. I think that this is something that Abe is not ignorant to. I think that he does realize this, but I think that from the perspective of his cabinet, the relationship had gotten so bad that there was not many other levers left in the relationship. And this particular issue, I think, has been they've tried to disconnect that, I think, from some of the other issues, such as the labor issue and some of their other tensions on the Comfort Women Agreement. But this is, I think there is a thought process in Japan that there needs to be a looking at the long-term relationship as well. So we may get back to that.
Now, Jonathan, last but not least, is it possible for for the Abe government, for the cabinet to approve this measure today, and then I know that it takes a couple of weeks for it to take effect. Is it possible for them to go back on their decision, or basically, turn back their decision within that time period?
Yeah, I think it is technically possible. I think it's something that there is kind of an escape hatch if they wanted to do that. But I think that all of the signs going forward, and especially if they're going to take this point, this is getting a lot of coverage in Japan as well. So people are looking at this day as well and seeing, assuming that this will kind of get approved. So I think there would have to be a big kind of a rationale or reason, I think, for the Abe administration to take such a move. But I think it is technically possible.
All right, Jonathan Miller, Senior Fellow at the Japan Institute of International Affairs. Many, many thanks for your insights this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks.